This is the extremely busy at times A614. I'm at the side of Clumber Park, and while this is one of the main arterial routes running north to south through Nottinghamshire, this woodland here on your left hand side is home to one of Nottinghamshire's newest invertebrates. Today's intended quarry is on this trunk. 3 of them actually. I'm after finding Platybunus pinetorum, which is Nottinghamshire's newest harvestman. Now I won't go into great detail, I'll try and avoid that because there's plenty about Platybunus pinetorum on this channel. But for a quick rundown for those that aren't aware of this species and haven't heard of it before or seen anything about it, this is a rare harvestman throughout the UK. It is starting to be found at more sites as the last few years have progressed. I discovered it new to Nottinghamshire in 2020, in spring of 2020, and then made concerted efforts to find the species again at Holborn Hill Plantation in 2021. I was successful, surprisingly successful, and went on to survey as many sites as possible for this species, and that also proved equally successful. The sites in question are all very similar for this species that are found. It's usually woodland, and woodland containing smooth bark trees such as young sycamore and trees such as this one, which is beech. Another key factor, one of several interestingly for this species, but work's still in progress and more survey work has yet to be done this year. But one of the other key factors is that it's woodland adjacent to roads. Main roads, even better it seems. And there may well be a link to lay-bys, because there's a lay-by right at the side of where I am now. Now, close links to roadsides don't always apply. There is another site for this species right on the corner of Budbury South Forest and Sherwood Forest Country Park, although technically not in the Sherwood Forest anymore. But predominantly, this species has close links with major roads running through Nottinghamshire, or at least in the Mansfield area. Now, the 3 individuals that are on this trunk are all on this shaded side. We had quite a cool night last night, and indeed in many places there was a slight frost, especially on cars and on roofs. I would have expected these to have perhaps been on the sunny side. It seems not. It seems they prefer the shade and actually avoid the sun to some degree. Now this is the typical habitat found here. It's just a mix of deciduous and coniferous woodland. I dare say at some time the remaining pines will be removed out of here. There's very little in the way of ground flora, although this is quite an extensive woodland for bluebells. It's really good. There's a good carpet. In a few more weeks this will be blue throughout. The only other vegetation really is some sparse bramble that's growing throughout this plantation. The plantation's only about 100 metres wide, but it's quite a long plantation. And the A614, as you can see, is on the right hand side. And here's an absolute beauty of a Platybunus pinetorum. As you can see, this one is resting head down. They always rest like this. Occasionally you can find them active or standing proud of the trunk, and that's usually when they're in hunting mode. Hunting during the daytime is rare, but I have seen it. Beautifully marked, that's pale chestnut ocularium, sat on a darker background, and then the abdomen is a lighter brown and you've got that dark saddle. There are some variations to the markings of these, but these really are one of our most beautiful harvestmen. At the moment, its known range in Nottinghamshire is confined to the sort of Dukeries, Sherwood Forest and Mansfield areas. There's no records south of the county, and that's purely because no one's looked for it. Well, here's one that I've just found in full sun. We're about 6 foot off the ground with this one, but at least you get to see this one probably better now it's in full sun rather than shade. This is the 5th one so far. It's still early days, but this is a spring species, as is Platybunus triangularis as well. There aren't many spring species in the Harvestman clan. There's another one just 3 foot up this beech trunk here on the shady side yet again. Over the next few weeks, more and more Platybunus pinetorum will be making their way up the trunks here. This one's already lost one leg. The second pair of legs are the longest, as you can see, and the first pair of legs are shorter. They overwinter in the leaf litter, and it's in the spring, once the weather starts to warm up. You're looking at about sort of mid-March when they start to make the transition from the ground layer and the leaf litter up to the trunks of trees. Hunting presumably takes place on the tree trunks at night, and they are voracious hunters. If you saw the video at the back end of last year of the juvenile that I found in leaf litter and had in captivity for a number of weeks, if you saw that video of it hunting, they are the equal to spiders. Didn't half surprise me, I can tell you. They're extremely agile and grab the prey pretty much in the same way as tarantulas do and other spiders that don't make webs. Really are voracious predators. It would be nice over the course of the next few weeks, as we go further into spring, if it's possible to make advancements to our knowledge of Platybunus pinetorum's distribution within VC 56 Nottinghamshire. It's an easy species to identify. There's lots of resources on the website at ekinbirds.com. You're limited to choice. There are a few spring harvestmen, most are summer and autumn and are through the winter. So it's fairly easy to identify. So if you have any woodland containing beech trees or other smoothbark trees near, and if they're close to a main road, have a look. They're usually fairly obvious if they're there. You might have to spend 5-10 minutes. But if you've not found it within 5-10 minutes, chances are it's probably not there. But don't limit your searches just to trees and woodland at the side of roads. It's worth looking anywhere. The habitat that I've found them here in Nottinghamshire seems to be quite unique in the UK. As far as I'm aware, no one's finding them in woodland, and I'm sure that's just because nobody's actually going to woodland and looking for them. Well, I know of one person that is, and he hasn't found it yet, unfortunately, but time will tell. Most sites for Platybunus pinetorum in the UK are in suburban locations. Certainly the Sheffield ones are on other sites in Yorkshire. So, if in the next few weeks you find a harvestman on the wall of your house or on your garden fence or on the tree trunk in your garden or park, have a look at it. It may well be Platybunus pinetorum. Then your record will be extremely valuable to our UK knowledge and also your local county's knowledge of this species. There are many counties still awaiting their first record of this harvestman. You can make a bit of a name for yourself.